Populism doesn't care about political leanings. It's more a power strategy that can destroy democracy itself, whether it's wrapped in a red beret or a red baseball cap. Today we're going to talk about why Hugo Chavez and Donald Trump, despite being born in different contexts and having seemingly opposite ideologies, are mirrors of the same leadership model, authoritarian populism. When we talk about populism, we are referring to a political strategy that appeals directly to the people, using simple and sometimes even empty rhetoric words. The goal is to make voters feel like salvation has arrived. They invent imaginary enemies like the elites or the agenda, and distort reality when it doesn't fit the narrative. If you're a citizen from an oppressed and forgotten social group, in this moment when a leader who offers solutions to your problems comes, it truly may sound appealing. But in practice, deifying a political figure often leads to power concentration, weakened institutions, and personality cult. Talking about Chávez, he rose to power in 1999 after a failed coup in 1992 and a campaign against Venezuela's two-party system. Trump won the election in 2016 by riding the resentment of white working class and promising to drain the swamp, that is to get rid of corruption, cronyism, and the political elite in DC, intensifying the narrative going into 2025. All this looked like they had different settings, but it's the same story. They are the saviors. Chávez renamed the country from Republic of Venezuela to Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. By the other hand, Trump banned what he considered woke terms in official documents, and also suggested renaming the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America. In this context, both of them are manipulating the language, whether it's lightly or heavily. And this isn't a minor detail. According to French sociologist Pierre Bourdieu, who in his book La Distinction said that symbolic violence is used to dominate without needing to exercise physical violence. In this context, changing words is also trying to change realities. Both Chavism and Trumpism build power on resentment, fear, and ignorance. They discredited and humiliated journalists, academics, and experts. To support their narratives, they attacked what they labeled the elites to gain popular strength. In Venezuela's case, this meant attacking the bipartisan elite. Chávez labeled business owners as oligarchs, shutting down media like RCTV, and constantly discrediting journalists while building their own propaganda machine. By the US side, Trump denounced corruption in the White House. He initially posed as an anti-Wall Street, but later filled his cabinet with Wall Street figures. He also dismissed scientists, especially during the pandemic. He denied and dismissed scientists who talk about climate change too, and attacked the education system as progressive or indoctrinating. In the end, it doesn't matter what you say. If you don't fit their ideal, you're not part of the patriotic and loyal people. In both cases, the message is the same. You're either with me or against the people. In 2003, after an oil industry strike, Chávez fired PDVSA executives live on national television, labeling them as traitors. About 18,000 employees were dismissed that day, including highly skilled technicians. What was the result? The loss of valuable human capital and heavily politicization of oil industry. Trump, for his part, fired key officials mainly over loyalty and political disagreements. The FBI director, James Comey, several inspectors, and National Security Council staffers. What was the reason of this? Those casually were investigating misconduct on his government, or they were not aligned with his narrative at all. This isn't fighting against corruption. It's capturing the state, replacing professional bureaucracy with a personal power machine. Both of them built their mythical personas. Chávez spoke for hours on national TV, giving biased or false depictions of the country's situation. He controlled state media and harassed the private ones, manipulating economic data and denying humanitarian crises. Trump turned press briefings and Oval Office meetings into something like reality TV shows, spreading disinformation and conspiracy theories and sometimes inventing imaginary enemies that result positive for his narrative, such as when he claimed electoral fraud in 2020 or promoted false claims about former President Obama. They both understood the power of narrative and emotions to rule through a spectacle, but behind the show there are real consequences. They both used populist discourse to fuel the image of a savior leader that led into deep polarizations on both of the countries. one of the authoritarian populism's most dangerous tools is collective self-deception. The belief that this can't happen here or our country is different. In Venezuela, lots of people thought that Chavez was just a harmless clown who would eventually become part of the system, that democracy would keep him in check. But his decisions led to a constitutional overhaul, media shutdowns, political persecution, election fraud, and the Venezuelan exodus, among many other disasters that turned down the democracy and people in Venezuela. In the US, many believed that institutions were too strong for someone like Trump to dismantle. In 2016, in his campaign, many people saw him as a joke, as a meme, or a glitch in the system. But then we saw the Capitol insurrection, the attempt to delegitimize elections, mass manipulation, and even financial speculation over tariffs. Both cases show the same lesson. Democracy doesn't collapse overnight. It unravels slowly. All of this while people laugh, look away, or convince themselves saying, it's not that bad. One more thing that I'd like to add to the comparison, it's how both of them participated in an intensive pursuit of perpetuating into the power of the countries. Chavez with his constitutional amendment in 2009 to approve the re-election in Venezuela, and Trump saying that he wants a third term even though he knows it is unconstitutional, showing how they followed this pattern of authoritarian populists who end up perpetuating themselves into power. And it wasn't overnight, this is something that is bit by bit, like gradually. Comparing Trump to Chavez isn't an exaggeration, it's a warning. Authoritarian populism isn't about consistent ideology, it's about one goal, the total power. And if we don't confront it with memory, critical thinking, and organized resistance, we'll keep repeating the same cycle again and again, in different languages, with different flags, but always with the same result: democracy destroyed from the core. The first step toward dictatorship isn't a tank in the streets. It's a joke, it's a slogan, a promise of greatness. Well, that's all. I hope you like it. A kiss to every one of you, and fuck Trump and Chavez.